So, there's a lot going on in the space, and kind of discounts and vouchers and kind of challenges associated with it. To be honest, what we focus on is around how we can add value, and it's really about start with the user in mind, and what do students want, what do you want, you watching this. For us it's about how we can help more and how we can deliver on our promise more, which is about how we can add value. And there are lots of kind of wider people in the voucher space, but no one doing it kind of as well and as much for students in the student market. And that's about being true to your proposition. And we've now launched as well something called morebeans.com for when people graduate, and it's for life after uni. And that's also around kind of deals and promotions, but what's relevant. So we kind of curate what's going on out there and what's useful, what's funny, what's interesting, or how we can add value. So that's kind of the student stuff made easy, and being this lifestyle portal and helping you, versus doing kind of what else is out there. So it's about being first mover advantage and constantly innovating. We've got interns, we've got people and connected, and we run something called the Bean Academy, where we bring in current students to share and tell us ideas. Similarly, if you're watching this and you've got ideas or thoughts, then feel free to go on the website. We've got a feedback page. Come and tell us, what's wrong, what needs changing, what we can do better. And with your help, we'll succeed very much. To be honest, I don't think I ate either of them.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what it is, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess, to be honest, Rooster House, they signed up with us in the early days. Adam Place were just having none of it, so what can I do? Okay, I was a piece of food, I'd be a sweet and sour chicken. And the reason why is I've learned so much in the last 6 years. To be honest, it's about balance. And there are sometimes, it's sweet, you want things to work, and the way that you come across, and it's all, you really want it to work, and your contribution, and it's just like amazing, and it's sweet, and everything's sweet, and you come across that way. And then there's this also element that actually sometimes you just need to be direct, and things aren't on, and they're not acceptable. And as a business, in terms of setting standards, and so that might come across that sometimes, you're a bit sour and I think it's happened, but to understand, this balance, I think it's all about, responding in the right way to relevant things when things happen, and to know how to be sweet or sour. I think that everything I do, I don't regret, and I think that that's the biggest thing. Is just about, what do I wish I did more of? I wish I took more advantage, of opportunities, and I think I took a lot of opportunities, and I think that, there's still though time that you could have actually got more involved. I remember I bought a gliding voucher in Freshers there that I never used, and I just remember going, I spent this £30-40 on this thing and I've just not used it, and seeing things and wanting to do things. I think I did more than most, but I don't think people really realise when you're at university just the richness and the environment and how many people you can meet from everywhere, and just, every night there's something different that you could be doing and getting involved in, and it's so close and so convenient. And as soon as you graduate, just the world just unfortunately just becomes a lot smaller. So I just encourage people just to get out there, to say yes, to do things. If someone asks you to do something, you're like, I'd never normally do that. Well, that's all the reason why you should do it. Aside from, obviously, the one thing you have to do at the university is sign up to studentbeans.com. Aside from that, my advice would be just do everything once. Just try things. It's the most amazing testbed just to go and to learn, and whatever it is, go skiing, one night on the dry slope skiing, go canoeing, go outsailing, go climbing, go, just go on a go-karting, go, whether it be adventurous things or just things, join a reading club, join a book club, do whatever it is that you want to do, there's something out there for you. But please don't just stay at home, and also stay with your group of friends. My biggest thing is, in the first term, so many people you just meet your group of friends, or even after the first year, you're like, no, these are my friends, and I'm comfortable. You're closing yourself off to so many other opportunities and so many amazing people. And so there's one thing also that I'd love for you to do, is just one thing from taking and watching this video, is to go and introduce yourself to a person you've never met before, and do that every day. Even do that every day just for the next week and see where you end up, or see the connection you make, and I guarantee it will create something that you just never thought possible. Graduating and setting up a company to be honest, it's really challenging in terms of this kind of work-life balance. People who know me, I'm always on, you're always thinking about that next idea, that next thing that you want to do, and you never switch off. That said, I genuinely believe, like, if you want to do something, you'll make time for it. So whether it be, your family, your relationships, or friends, like, it's kind of what's important to you. And I think sometimes it's challenging because you can lose sight of things. You can get so involved and so focused. And I think I did that. The first couple of years when I graduated, I just put my head down and just made things work. It's hard, but I think it's important to keep a balance. And, lots of people, have a hobby, do something, different. But think about it. I think those friends that, if they're real friends, they'll support you and stand by you. And I think some core people, including the people I lived with in Sedio, I'm still in touch with today. And I think that's because we built some great foundations. But yeah, don't forget that. So this is my personal opinion. It's not the company's opinion in terms of tuition fees. What I do kind of acknowledge, and my big concern is, I think university should be available to anyone who wants to go to university. And that's like my fundamental, like whatever it is in terms of fees going up and costs, it still should be, and it should not be exclusive. It should not be an elite club of people that can afford to do it. So that's one thing. In terms of the impact and changes, I do think that universities are going to have to step up. They're going to have to deliver more. I know that I hear about friends currently at university and the dissatisfaction around some of their modules or the tutorials. They're just not. Universities are not delivering like they need to. So I think there's going to be a step up and a step change that universities are going to have to respond to. I also think that students as well, if they're going to university, they'll make it a more considered decision about it. When it costs £3,000 or less before to go to university for your tuition fees, maybe you didn't think about it as much. And maybe now, as well, I think that people will step up and take it a bit more seriously. And I think there is a balance. Not to be a slave driver, I definitely believe university is an amazing experience where you can go, you can learn. There's also, outside of your course, what you do that counts is not just your degree and your hours a week or your learning from there, but the opportunity to experience, to grow up, to be away from home. All of these things contribute to making us the people we are. And I think that's really important, and it shouldn't be ignored. University is so important. So we're called, the company is a company we're called the Beams Group, and for us it's about how we can help people save time and money, and you can see from studentbeams.com the core around kind of the deals, the promotions, the lifestyle, student stuff made easy, more beams, life after uni, and there's more, and we've got in terms of kind of the pipeline to do with clearly mobile is a big hot topic that lots of people kind of question us about, and so definitely kind of in 2012 there's a huge opportunity for that and growth. To be honest, it's a lot about kind of more and delivering more, bigger, better. We ask a lot of people what do they want, and it's about better deals, it's about better promotions, it's about how we can help more. This year for the first time we've launched our student snow trip from 0 degrees, and that's something, again, an extension to the brand. Hopefully we can be sending away lots of students going skiing from lots of different universities together, and there's kind of other things like that in the pipeline that we're focused and committed on doing. In terms of us as a business, we're recruiting and growing, so a team of now 26 people that work for us, and that's the fundamental kind of driver. We need amazing people to come and join the team to help grow the business and take us to the next level. So the great thing about being an entrepreneur, to be honest, is every day is different, and because the way that we've grown in terms of the business, the more we bring in more people into the business, it's almost like I get a promotion every few months. Someone else is doing what I was doing, and hopefully you're also better than I was doing it, which enables the business to grow. I think that's kind of something famous from Sir Richard Branson around surrounding yourself by people that are better than you. So that's definitely kind of my drive and objective. In terms of day-to-day, it really varies from client meetings or going out, kind of speaking, but very much being this public voice and public persona. And there's this kind of concept of chief storyteller, which is a kind of a coined phrase in terms of kind of CEOs or people being out there, really telling the story and allowing more people to come to us, whether that be from a recruitment perspective or bringing on new deals or business or relationships. So there'll be industry conferences as well, or deals and meetings, and just generally, that whole concept, people do business with people. And the more I'm out at the office, the more people and the more the business grows, which might sound funny. So my challenge and the challenge for the team is, the team are there to do what needs to be done today, and so I'm focusing on kind of what needs to be done tomorrow. Someone recently said that entrepreneurship was like jumping off a cliff and assembling a plane on the way down and hoping that it's assembled before you hit the ground. The last 6 years for me has been extremely challenging. It's like a roller coaster. There are many times, and within a day of the ups and downs and turmoil and challenges, it's really not easy. Sometimes I say, I wouldn't wish on anyone what I've had to do in the last 6 years. And I don't say that lightly. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. If you're looking for a challenge and excitement, and really it's about the journey. In terms of the destination, we're building a great business, and I'm really excited and I'm passionate about providing opportunities, for the people that work for us, for the users that use our site, for the brands, and some of the biggest brands in the world that work for us. It keeps me going, and that's that drive. But it's definitely not easy, and it's not for anyone. Okay, so when I was 8 or 9 at school, my teacher stood up in assembly. So it wasn't even one of my lessons. Stood up in assembly and fundamentally said, your parents' generation, it was one job for life, and for us, he said, in your lifetime, you will do between 8 to 12 different jobs, and half of those jobs today won't exist. And at the time, you think about it, you digest it, but if you think about fundamentally as a company, studentbeans.com and the Beans Group, what we're doing now, none of it would have been possible when my teacher said that. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So the internet, and how it's revolutionised and changed the world, is absolutely amazing. So in terms of managing a team, there are lots of different challenges, but I think the key thing is about recruitment. And there's a fantastic book by Jim Collins called From Good to Great, and it's about how businesses can be not just good but really, really great. And it's all about getting, and he uses this phrase, getting the right people on the bus. And we've kind of adapted that analogy a little bit more to say not only getting the right people on the bus, but getting the right people on the bus sitting in the right places. And so for us, it's all about recruiting the right people, helping to support and train and develop and enable people to be the best that they can be. And that all comes from recruiting the right people in the first place. We've got a big kind of term in the company called managing up. And it's about that we need people to come in and take responsibility. If someone's given a task to do something, no one else is going to chase them up and follow up and it might not be done. They need to take responsibility. So I very much take the approach as kind of this attitude. You've got to let people get on with it. You've got to provide a clear structure and vision, and we talk about in terms of leadership and compare it to as well. If you've got you've got a ladder. As a leader, the challenge is to make sure that the ladder's leaning against the right wall. Then the manager's job then is to help people get up the ladder. And so that's kind of very much kind of one of the founders of the business, is helping to make sure that ladder's leaning against the right wall. For me, it's a kind of a life philosophy around continual learning and development and personal growth and personal development, and that's kind of so important. We've never stopped learning, and whether I be kind of reading books, or actually kind of reading the Financial Times is a great way just to understand what's going on in the world, and that's kind of something else that's been kind of fed back and given to me by kind of a mentor, and that's something else. Finding a mentor, finding someone that can help you and give you some structure and advice. But it's also to ask you the questions, and sometimes we don't really take enough time out. There's a statement that was said that we spend more time searching for what we're going to do on some holiday than we do for the career that we're going to go into. And suddenly we find ourselves in a place, or at the end of the week you find yourself, you're run down and you're tired. Why is that? Because you've not maybe taken the time at the beginning of the week to think about what is it that you really want to do, what you want to achieve, what am I doing, what's the contribution? At the end of every single meeting I go to, if I'm with someone, I ask the question, what did we do well, and what could we do differently next time to improve? And it's not about what went wrong, what went bad, or focusing on the negative, but it's that constant question. Whether I'm with someone or not, I do it to myself, so I constantly aim to improve and continue to challenge myself.